Okay, you join me here by the William Mitchell listed mural. Formerly, it's a chicken shop. Chicken King is what its most recent incarnation has been. However, it's a double-sided piece of work. You can't see, but there's this on the other side as well. And it's the centre of some interesting discussion at the moment about Bullyard and the post-war planning in the city. There's barracks, a very historical place, obviously a car park at the minute, but that particular area is sort of important for car for the last 800 years. And here we are in Bullyard. There's a thread through time that's being retained, as well as this listed mural. But all this area is due for demolition, and The Guardian did an article about it yesterday, and it brought up a lot of chatter about what we should be doing with our post-war heritage. I suppose it's a very important question for Cov as it redevelops itself, but it's nationwide really, across the country. The post-war development has been neglected and ignored and left to decay. And I wouldn't argue that Bullyard and Shelton Square through here is tired, but the backstory and the thought that went into the planning of city centres and precincts after the war is something we need to explain better. We do a dreadful job of it, which, you know, the article tried to suggest really. This used to be a road, funnily enough. There's some great images of this. In fact, the image from the article is from here. Actually stood over where the fountain is, looking back, because there was a big dome here, like a shop, that jutted out from the main section. Obviously Bullyard is just one element that it spoke about, the precinct, which came before it from the 50s. This is obviously more of a 60s theme. But it's interesting. It generated lots of comments anyway. And yeah, to most normal people, this is horrendous. But it's, what do you do? Do you build an identikit flat pack city, which is what the designs look like for here? Or do you try and make something bespoke and part of the city story, which is what they tried to do in the post-war era. There was plans for each area and, you know, how a city should flow, and since then obviously it's gone a bit wrong and the 80s were not kind. Here's the Phoenix by George Wagstaff, also hopefully to be retained. Really good piece of art that was actually originally on the precinct, signifying the post-war rising of the city, which is, you know, a good symbol for where we're at. Is what do we do next? How do we retain some identity? Like, the work here is great, with Christchurch and the play area and the fountain and stuff. This is Dresden Place, actually, which I learned recently. I didn't realise it had a name. I thought it was just part of Bullyard, but it's not. It's Dresden Place. And here's Hertford Street again. This used to be a road back in the day, and it's, what do you do with it to make it something fit for the 21st century without making it boring. And what I found is the additions we've made, like this stupid canopy from like the 90s, it just looks tacky and dreadful, and you can't see the artwork above it. I mean, you can't now anyway, it's dark. What do you do with this? This is like an interwar building, Art Deco. I don't know. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I just thought I'd mention it whilst I was walking through. What do you do with city centres in the 21st century to make them viable but also interesting? It's a really big question, and people do PhDs about it, so I'm not expecting an answer from anyone, but oh well, onwards.